Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Amy Burkett. The near sellout crowds at Charlotte's Spectrum Center in Uptown came to say goodbye to Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. Yep, you've probably heard about the circus closing down. Ringling Brothers calls it a business decision. But ending the circus doesn't end generations of Charlotte circus memories. We sent Carolina Impact's Jeff Saunier to Spectrum Center for one last look at the spectacle so many of us grew up with.
Yeah, we are living the dream for most kids right now on the circus floor here at Ringling Brothers, the same show you saw as a kid, or with your kids, or even your grandkids, maybe all of the above. Well, after 146 years, the greatest show on earth, here in Charlotte, sadly, the show's over. Come on! Yep, no more tiger and lion tamers. No more daring young men and women on the flying trapeze.
You know, for us, it's a little bit sad, because it's the biggest show in America. It's the greatest show on earth. But for the other side, we're so excited to be at the last show, at the last performance. We're making history.
In its final days, the young faces here at Ringling Brothers still light up. And the longtime fans still get one last chance to feel that same old, when the curtain opens, when they send in the clowns, when the circus is back in town.
It's wonderful.
Will you miss it?
I don't think I will ever spend a day of my life not missing it. You really spend so much time with all these people. I'm getting emotional. Yeah.
Lindsay Merrifield of Goldsboro has been a Ringling Brothers clown for 3 years, and she says nothing will ever compare to putting on the makeup and being even a small part of Ringling Brothers circus history, especially now, knowing that for every audience, in every city, every performance is their last performance.
This is the last time they'll be able to see Ringling Brothers. And so the magic that we feel on the floor whenever that curtain opens, even though we're closing and there's so many emotions going on, the show still matters right now. The show is still going on right now, and that's what's important. Their logo says the greatest show on earth. They mean it. It is the greatest show on earth, on the entire earth. It is. It really is.
Fact is, the greatest show on earth hasn't been quite as great since retiring their famous performing elephants because of too many complaints from animal rights groups, which eventually translated into too few tickets to turn a profit. But here in Charlotte, the Ringling Brothers farewell tour brought back the big circus crowds, not to mention lots of circus memories.
I remember one time a guy riding a motorcycle across the tight wire and just things like that, but love the animals. And sometimes we'd go around to the loading dock, and it's where you could see the elephants and the horses and different animals that were there, and just always great memories.
When the circus came to town, we got out of school and we could stand along Independence Boulevard and watch the animal parade come and go over to the Coliseum and see the animals. So we were the elementary school that was closest to the Coliseum. We could see the circus animals every day while the circus was in town. That was really cool.
You'll find another chapter in Charlotte circus history here at Elmwood Cemetery, uptown, involving not the Ringling Brothers Circus, but a rival circus and an elephant trainer who didn't live here in Charlotte, but who did die here in Charlotte. John King's tombstone says he was killed September 28th, 1880, by the elephant named Chief. So we searched back through library archives for that date's Daily Charlotte Observer newspaper and the headline about a mad elephant that crushes his keeper and escapes from a train car here on Trade Street, first to 5th Street, then to Tryon, then to Church Street. The paper says Chief was eventually captured and returned to John Robinson's traveling circus train using 2 other elephants, but not before there was wild confusion in the crowd, afraid to approach the elephant that was loose in the streets. Chief was shipped off to the zoo in Cincinnati, where he eventually had to be put down. His carcass was preserved and mounted on wheels for display at the University of Cincinnati. And that was after local restaurants served up what was described on their menus as loin of elephant. Meanwhile, Chiefs trainer John King is still here in Elmwood Cemetery. The old Robinson Circus paying its respects with a brass band funeral and that elephant gravestone. And now Charlotte Circus fans pay their respects once more to the greatest show on earth that entertains again, right till the end.
To see when the kids look at you and they smile at you and they clap at you, it's amazing. I know they always gonna remember what they saw.
It's just Ringling is like the big show, and it's been a big impact for those hearing that it's closing. I mean, it's big.
You'll miss it as a performer.
Oh yes, every day of my life I will miss it.
Yeah, so glad we got a chance to see the final performances of Ringling Brothers here in Charlotte. Hope you got a chance too. In fact, the circus made stops in Greensboro and Raleigh as well as Charlotte in their farewell tour. Amy?
Thanks so much, Jeff. The statement announcing the closing calls the circus an unsustainable business for the company. Officials say the decline in circus ticket sales was a lot greater than anticipated after the elephants left the show just last year.